So this isn't going to be a review about a book per se, but it's going to be a review of a video about people who sell antique books and collectible books and papers. This video is part of a collaboration named #ThursdayBookTube. It's hosted by myself and My Life with Patty. Every Thursday, new videos uploaded, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see what you have to say about a book you read, a magazine you read, something book or reading related, a visit to a bookstore, a book fair, whatever you want to do. We just want to encourage the love of reading and of literacy, I guess I could say. Just upload your video, #ThursdayBookTube, and be sure to tag myself in Life with Patty. Every Thursday, new playlist. So I was sitting here in the living room, the only heated room in the house, and everything happens in here. And I was looking on YouTube on my computer, and I saw a movie come up, and it was called The Booksellers. And I thought, how cool is that? Because I can watch a romantic movie about people who work in bookstores and like I like to read. I went through a big, long period of that. Booksellers, librarians, something about rows of books brings out the romance in people, I guess. So I went to go and look at it, and it turned out it was not that at all. It was a documentary filmed in, I think, 2019, 2020, about all the people in New York City who buy and sell old books and ephemera and paperwork and collectibles. So I thought, okay, let's do it. It's book related, right? Well, the movie ended up being quite interesting. It was about an hour and a half. It's a very intense movie. I did watch it, not necessarily in one sitting. I took a little break about halfway through, but they talk to people. They do history of the booksellers in New York, of the bookstores. They go visit people's private collections. They visit existing bookstores in New York. They visit private libraries, and they talk to people in all sorts of niches. It was kind of cute. They talked about the early bookstores in New York City and how there was one street that just was end-to-end bookstores. A lot of cities were like that at that time. And how most of the bookstores at that time were owned by little Jewish men who did not actually want to sell books. What they wanted to do was have a profession that would allow them to sit and read all day. So they talked about going to these bookstores and trying to buy a book, and the person who owned the bookstore wasn't even interested in selling or talking to them or anything like that. And somehow it's a business model that lasted many, many years. Then they go on to talk about some of these family-owned bookstores and some of these bookstores that managed to survive, because most of those bookstores just died out, and what they are doing to survive. If they are, some of them have expanded to things like signed baseballs. One woman has built a business around taking care of leather-bound books and private collections and redoing the gold around the edge, a little bit of gold edging on the pages, and cleaning and caring for leather-bound volumes and things like that. There was a range of collections and book presentations. Some people had just boxes all over the place. Some people had warehouses. Some people just had bookcases everywhere. Some were arranged by name and title or by category. One guy had his whole personal library arranged by the book height. So he'd have a row of books that were this big, and another row of books that were this big, and another row. They're kind of eccentric people. The personalities and their interests were very wide-ranging. There was a great deal of, I guess, joy or satisfaction in what they did, especially in the hunt. Somebody said the hunt for a used book or a particular edition is 90% of it. Then you get the book, then you just put it in the bookshelf and you forget about it. They said that one of the things that the internet has kind of decimated was that hunt, because you can go online on eBay or on these specialized sites and find something in a minute. And they said if you are a person who likes to hunt, then that's kind of a problem. They talked about what happened to books when the computer came along, when the internet came along, when Amazon came along, when people seemed to be reading less and doing computers more. or when they're reading less print copies but reading the Kindle more. The irony of that is the Kindle is a Amazon product, and Jeff Bezos started his Amazon career selling books online. So, so there's a lot of that sort of talk. And at the end, they do a round table with a lot of the people they spoke with during the course of the movie about what is the future of books and the printed word and of actual books. Is this a dying industry? Is it coming back? And in the course of the movie, you see that there are many different ways that this industry is shifting and changing, and whether or not it's dying is probably in the eye of the whole beholder, and whether or not people continue to read books, either hard copy or on a Kindle or on a Nook, is also a matter of opinion. So this movie was extremely interesting. I enjoy movies that are niche, that really go into a particular topic or a particular profession or a particular, I guess, obsession that I never heard of before, that I never thought of before. The people who all spoke were extremely articulate, extremely interesting, and extremely passionate. My only complaint about the movie is that they didn't really identify people. There was some person there, this woman who would appear from time to time and talk and share her thoughts. And I thought, God, that woman looks so familiar. Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? By the end, I found out she was Fran Lebowitz, who is very well known. And, you know, I knew her face, but I didn't know her name. And there was another author who came up who talked about putting together an archive of her works, but I didn't know who it was. And some of the people, they just had their first names, not everyone. So that was kind of interesting. I'm wondering if maybe some people didn't want to be identified. I don't know. The second thing I loved about this was all the libraries, the way they filmed it. All the libraries, all the bookstores had this really nice light on them. And I know that there's something about being in a library or being in a bookstore which is extremely calming. You feel calm, you feel safe, you want to get into a chair, you want to grab a book, and they really, really conveyed that with the filmography. So, if you're interested in this whole niche world of book collecting and rare book buying and selling and who's doing it and why they're doing it, The Booksellers is definitely the movie for you. Like I said, I thought it was just going to be a recreation of one of the novels I've read, but it took me to a whole new world. Thank you so much for watching.